Hey, good people, it's the Crypto Sniper. Glad to be back with you. Crypto. Yes, indeed. I'm going to keep it short and sharp, XRP. So if you're following us on X out there, the Crypto Sniper, we did put out a couple of tweets. They looked out something like this, saying that, here we go, we were looking at the daily. If we look at this chart over here, what date was this particular chart? It was 2024. 0923, and we were saying, look here guys, there's something going on. You had your carry trade crash, by the way, in that XRP didn't come off as much as some of the other things, and then you've been coming up and you've been getting kind of low volatility. That's what we were pointing to, and we think as a result of that you may have a chance at running to the 80 cents level, and at the time you're in and around 59 cents. 59 cents, a bit of upside, and that was technically being shown. And of course, as many of you would know, there's actually action expected, fundamental news. I don't know if it's the 6th or the 7th. I don't keep up to date with this in the charts, I trust. The market can sometimes even move before the events or the confirmation of no appeal being registered for XRP with the SEC case. Who knows, sometimes the insiders will move, and this is to our point. If you have a look at this chart now, we're on the 4-hour time frame, and we have a look at it now in a little bit more detail, and you'll see that this has gone super low vol, as is typical of just before, and you can see it had already begun squeezing a little bit before. So you squeezy into another tighter squeezy, keep on squeezing. Testicola's getting a little bit eye-watering tight. Anyway, nonetheless, we call it a breakout. When this happened, it was a little bit gappy there, and it came, and then it came straight back, complying with our 5 stages of a breakout, which is the break and feign back in. Then we have subsequently made our, might see a faint dotted line there, we do it not too strong, our first interim, which you surge through and you're now pulling back to. That is now the second chance. So you get the break and feign. It's just a little bit of playing with the line over and back. Okay, we survived, we stepped over the line, there was no tripwires, there was no blowouts. We can go and break for the border now, and off you go. First interim run, and a pullback is expected. Then you will come into the second interim, which is up top there. There's a lot of other old purple lines that are going to confuse you from legacy events, but the second interim is in fact there, and the full target is there on balance of possibilities and probabilities for performance, which is 82 cents now, since the triggering event, which is the impulsive move to the upside. You would also have waited to see some volume. It's not a bad thing to have on there. It's separate data. It wasn't unbelievably huge, but you had a bit there. You had your yen trade, carry trade unwind, which was the drama of the 4-hourly chart. That was August, beginning as we came into August, skid. Ooh, not so much liquidity, but look at that strong rebound back. That was the key part, big green candle there. That was the early money getting back into the game, but then you calmed down after a little bit of a second degree skid, so you didn't have to chase the pump there. It was the wrong thing to do. None of us did, not the HVF snipers in our community. No siree, we didn't chase in and buy up top there, not at all. That's dumb. Second chance, coming around, coming down, calming down, and a little bit of a dicey spill. There's also a dodgy period for Bitcoin. Since then, working up. This is where you wait to get in, and even though you might say, well, it's not a whole bunch lower than the giddy peaks up top here, it is a little bit lower, and more importantly, you can have stops that would have survived. You can have a stop there, whilst if you had actually had that same stop and you got in earlier over here, you would have been stopped out there, you would have been stopped out there. Everything was a stop out. If you had got in here, you would have been stopped out there, you would have been stopped out there, you would have let your stop run and taken extra losses, and then you would have finally got out there now that you'd let your trade eat 5 times your money management. This is what you guys do. I'm talking to you. That's what you do. Point with all 5 fingers so that none are pointing back at me. This is what you do. That's 10. Take 10. I offer you 5, have 10. That's the difference. It's not exactly how your dad dished out pocket money. $10. What do you want $6 for? Give 3, take 3, give half to your brother type story. No, take 10. I go the other way up. I'm generous and kind. 10 fingers pointing at you. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. So you want a tight stop that survives. That's what HVF method trading is about. Squeezy, squeezy, super tight, then catch it just in time. You don't want to be in the thrashing around market, up and down, left and right, deep and low. This is when people get chasing momentum. They buy tops, they get flushed out. You feel like the market hates you. Oh my God, it's a terrible life. The world is against you. They're conspiring against you. Just wait till it calms down. Third impulse is when it often happens. We look for the squeezy, squeezy price behavior, and we also know that there's some news coming, so it works with us. HVFs often are predictors of news. There are one more possibility. Now, President Trump is a crypto fan all of a sudden. Isn't that convenient? BlackRock, Lowell, Finkelstein, and all the other criminals. Oh, how your freedom digital money. Yes, oh dear. The libertarians, oh dear. Sounds like we're mocking. Don't mock, don't mock. We'll trade it to the upside, but we don't love it. We don't love it. We don't trust it. We trade it to the upside anyway. So you get long on the squeezy here. You could have got in early. You could have got in down here at about 59. Is having a pullback after that first interim, but I think it's got a reasonable chance of making that 82. So just to be clear, that doesn't mean the news is guaranteed what all of alt crypto wants it to be. And there is an alt run. Remember our Bitcoin dominance story? Bitcoin dominance not having it all its own way. Maybe if you want me to, I'll do that. If you hit the like button, I'll cover the Bitcoin dominance for you. Otherwise, I'm just doing XRP and I'm buggering off and I'm sulking. So for the alt to actually, who's been languishing the first half of this entire period, which was also at a lengthy sideways period, rumors of liquidity. People talk about China liquidity. I don't know if that means they're going to be all reams of cash that is being pumped up with the other side of the planet that's not buying gold and other stuff that Chinese needs, all coming to push up Western people's alt bags up. I think you need the good old USA, here's 7 trillion a la CV19 type liquidity to really get going. But anyway, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Who knows? I'm the last to know. I just watch what happens in the charts. But if we get a little bit of that liquidity, maybe that alt run comes. So pullback period now after the first interim, 82. But just going back to that 82, it doesn't mean that you're getting exactly what you want. People could, as we get closer to the date, it's the 30th of September today, by the way. How many are there in September? I think there's only 30. I think we go into October tomorrow. I'll need to check that. You all know that. I don't even know what day it is half the time. That's the lovely thing about being your own dude. I just get up and do what I normally love to do. Anyway, so with that said, if there's 6 days of October still to come after today, and we're Monday, that's probably going to take us into, maybe it's Friday. Or was it Monday next week? If we're 30 today and we were first on Tuesday, it's probably Monday. Yeah, it would be Monday next week. So you could have, during the course of this week, a bubbling up of those second guessing, given the politics, the mood change, and of course, the absolute control structure, a la why I mentioned BlackRock with that 100% Talmudic board, because they don't believe in diversity. Those guys getting in that are actually controlling all your freedom coins from the central banking cartel. Given the politics and that, the mood might be that many start to assume that the SEC will be sent packing and that in actual fact you're going to get a favorable outcome. That doesn't mean it's going to be that way. You could make that 82 before just on everybody thinking it's going to be that way, and we could be Thursday and making 82, and then the news could come out and it could disappoint, and then you could be back down. Hence why this is possibly just a trade. Ripple has had many cry wolf moments. We know that, you know that, and all of that good stuff. Many cry wolf moments. It could absolutely be that. It could literally just be, here's an 82 cents run. Even if our pattern is successful, generally we assume it to be so if we've got full compliance. It did start setting up from quite some time ago. You know, we'd measure it from way back there. that is before August. What's the month before August? It smells like July, I think. Around about 10th of July all the way through to a triggering event somewhere near the end of September. There, that day over there, which we can confirm was, in fact, it's that one that broke our green level. That was 28th of September. So it's quite a long setup, even though we're looking at this on a 4-hourly chart. I like 4-hourly time frames. It's probably one of the most common. You get enough of them, and they're big enough to have reasonably sized moves. They've got quite a high success rate if they're decent structure, and we go into them with the assumption of winning, but we plan for losing with stop loss placement, which would be down here in and around 57s. So that's the game. So it could be you don't get the news, but you still make the 82. It could be you make the 82 on the news. So there's all the possibilities. I'm not putting forward. I just want to say my overarching bias is to anticipate an 82 run. It is not to guess the outcome of the SEC case, because there are a number of possibilities, and this is all I'm highlighting. So you could get an 82 cents run and not get the news you want, and that could come down and it could settle below this level. It could settle above this level a bit more bullishly, or any level in between, in spite of it not getting the news, because people think, well, they're not going to win, it's going to take longer, etc., etc. There's an election coming. You may then have people intervene later. Maybe that card of removing the uncertainty comes later. But we have had an alt.d, in other words, an invert Bitcoin dominance vibe, and that's what we touch. So at some point the alts run, and the clarity on XRP regarding the SEC would be very good for all alt crypto. Generally, it would be very good for all alt crypto if the SEC was sent packing. It would be right down to Hex and Pulse Chain and everything in between. So, you know, from Ethereum down. So it would be interesting to see, because there's been a lot of people that have had a stick waved in their face surrounding this issue, and it would be great for that to change. However, we're not predicting one way or another, but we are saying 82. So 82 could happen as a result of the news, or it could happen before the news and still see a pullback. Does that mean this is the big one for the macro? Is the question in the comments that's coming up right now. Hit that like button if I'm answering the question you were already thinking to ask as you're about to type. Tell us, does that mean it? And so, yes, I will go back to the big chart, because we've got to do that. And here we are now up on a weekly time frame. And the answer is no, it doesn't necessarily mean. So you see what I did there? Wow, tricky words. Should be a lawyer. Super tricky. No, not meaning to be tricky at all. You could have a run up here to the 82 cents. It's fine. But this pattern, which has been drawn on the 94 cents, if you don't overrun, you haven't triggered that pattern. To run 95 cents, you would need quite a bit more extra beans. So you broke at 61, call it 62 cents, a little bit below 62. The target's 82. That's 20 cents on 62. It's around 30%, a little bit under. To do 95 is a different kettle of fish, because now you're going from 62. Instead, you're going to 33 cents up, which is more like 55%. Instead of 29%. So to do that would actually require a bit more beans. And then finally, even though we have chosen this as this 95 high here that came again out of an HVF that we also called and gave on this channel. And this is why I say all these little HVFs, we've had it happen before. You get the target for the pattern, bang, even a bit of overperformance, but you can end up lower again. You see all those wicks, and that dip there. All of that was lower again. It was not the triggering of the macro pattern. The macro pattern that you're all waiting for. Eventually, the wolf does come. You can cry wolf a lot of times and lie, but eventually that wolf is at your door, howling. Woo! and this would be a good wolf howl. It would be good for crypto alts, it would be good for XRP. And so this needs to overperform through to 95%. So not much shy of $1 to actually trigger this draw. And actually, we still feel there's a need for a higher, not necessarily, but to improve the quality of the pattern, we would prefer a run up to about 113 for it to be a beautiful pattern, and then it could still come down for a while, so that instead of joining that one up, we would join that one up, and then we would have a degree of beauty that would excite us. This is a bit low slung, and the third impulse is a bit low. In short, that did not get high enough for our liking. We like as a percentage it to do more. However, this is what we refer to as a spiker mental HVF. These are ones that are very low slung but have super surges. Spiker mentals. And it's very typical of crypto. So most of the price behavior that is happening in between is actually, when you do a volume by price, as you will see it here, done rather nicely for you, is on the low side. Most of it is on the low side. You see the big Manhattans, the horizontal Manhattans, that's post 9/11, or when they, oh no, they didn't do that, sorry. Funny I slipped that in, sorry. Anyway, the horizontal Manhattans on this all run like that. And not much volume is on the high side. Not much volume is on the high side. Not much volume is done on the high side at all. And that's pretty much what you have. So that's why you have a spiker mental, the flat bottoms. Lots of bouncing and hanging heavy, surge and come straight back. This is typical of a setup where you must take your profits when you make your target and get out, because it is not supported by thickening bid stack underneath it. It's just supported by overwhelm, nobody wanting to offer, and everybody just chasing in. It's not people putting depth below you and building bid stack. That's why when you get your big surge, if we get our $19 run on the macro, you should close at least half, if not 75% of the trade. If you want to speculate on the final quarter, you're already done exceedingly well. Why not? But you should close at minimum half on that. So going back to this rather smaller, tinier affair that we're talking about here, overall, my best guess of all the multitude of permutations and combinations is that you get a little old run. We think you will get the 82, and we don't think you'll get the 93. So that actually is a bit of a kind of damn squidder. It could be no, but you know, eventually this process is ending, so it pulls back after 82, comes back down into the upper 60s, lower 70s. But they're running out of lives. Eventually we'll win. We wait for another one, just like this was another one that fizzled back down. And we carry on. So I think it could fall in that category. Or you get your yes, but it's nuanced, it's not altogether positive, and you make the 82 and you pull back. But the possibility could be, if you make, let me just clean that up a bit, if you make that 82 and come back and it's a yes, there's a little bit of but this, but that, and there still needs to be negotiations and tidy up and all of that, and then you wind up, and that could set up something more soon, which could trigger the pattern. So no obviously lengthens the story, but we still think you can make the 82 before the actual news on speculation or people that think they have an inside line or are just guessing. And so it's kind of a little bit interesting. We hope yes, and then you just get a small pullback at the 82 just because of some profit taking on the short, and then we base again, and then we really go, and that could start the bigger one's journey. You've got to at minimum beat the 95, and ideally for a better pattern we would want to see the 113 run, and then a bigger 3. So that's kind of what we're looking for. But you can run with a low 95, and that could start the journey on a low slung move, but then yeah, you'll be hot to trot. Then things would be happening really fast. And for it to happen really fast, for you to go from something that's 60 cents and has largely been 60 cents for a pretty long time. I mean, you're talking about a full new, if you take the meat of the volume by price, the current levels are the lowest supported of the thick part of the volume by price. So you're still stacking on the high side of what is the 70% box. You've really not got much volume above, and that was kind of very low. We didn't have too much volume, a couple of spills once or twice. So you're pretty much in the high end of that range. This is heavy ceiling for us. That's why, you know, you could get part of the way up and you could seek down. We haven't shown much ability to stay above the ceiling for any lengthy duration. A descending triangle there and a spike with a secondary bounce there. Those boxes, I should have done them in different colors. Those boxes over there is the best you've been able to do. So we really truly do need to put some zeal into this. We need to see, we probably need a positive outcome to get above there. You could do the 82 on the expectation of it and then come back down on a non-positive outcome, like we are going to continue with the case. We want to appeal, belligerence. So both possibilities on the outcome can still occur. We think decent chance on balance of possibilities that the 82 gets run. I would say if it makes the 82 before the news, take some profits. Don't over assume that you're going to go to the moon now, all the way through that 95 and up to $19,356, $19, which is, I suppose, 1,935 cents. I'm not quite sure the time has come. I think there's a cry wolf or two still to happen before the big journey happens. And this is deceptive. Remember, I'm showing you on log scale because we're looking at a big time frame. If I just vibe all of that for you and just give you the modern take on this, this is when you can really understand what I'm saying to you about volume by price and the amount of time we've actually been able to sustain outside of our big box area. Very little. This was probably the most significant over time duration. That was super spiky with an echo bounce. That is no more than a wick. So you can see here, I predict a foray up to 82 being possible, say 50%, half, without pattern failure. So this little guy performs, you get up to 82, that's somewhere there. And it then becomes, what is the news like? Will we just pull down and sit on this box and that will now turn support and be set up for a new positive break, not too far off, like a positive response on that, and we break later, but not too late? Or is it negative and we come back into the range and it's just a once-off, it's another one of these events? One of those two are the calls. The outlier possibility of it just starting a full-on rip and we're on our way, woohoo, $19 incoming, that won't happen overnight. And by the way, what will be going on in the world and the dollar itself will probably pretty scary. You're talking about quick, the CBDC, everything's failing, the debt market's failing. Oh, we took everybody's money in their bank accounts. Isn't that a shame? Oh, never mind, we'll give you some CBDC in lieu of, here, shut up, have you had your and all the other stuff, social score. Don't, you know, we be careful what we wish for that goes with all of that. I'm not sure that that's quite yet ready, but it could be. So I would bias to a trip to the 82 and some degree back into this, but will it go all the way back? Or will it start making a higher staging post, which could be optimistic for a later run? Okay, so the macro not to break, but our smaller time frame trade, which is pulling back right now, unconcerned. We had a triggering event. It's actually not a bad entry for some people. You could go and put 61 cents and a half on there as a buy limit if you were to get a return move and make 82. You could even go for a tighter stop over here. This is non-advisory. It's just possibilities. People talking about trading ideas. The low there is 58.24, so I would just say make it 58 cents, 57.99, and jump in on any return here, and you could have yourself quite a decent risk reward trade. And I would close 75% at minimum and only leave, but that would be whoops, no, we want to say, okay, get in there on the funnel. You could have that. It's not that good. That's still not a bad risk reward ratio. It's about 11 if it comes back. Ooh, in fact, that's also too aggressive. A bit too aggressive. That's if it comes back to that point. Sorry, about 6.63. Let's get our story straight. Get your story straight. 6.63. Potential risk reward on a return move to the funnel, and upside with a tight stop to take you to. Now, those of you who think, oh, I've learned all I need to learn on HVF method. Wrong. All 10 fingers. All 10 fingers wrong. There's so much more you need to understand, and we cover it all, and you can watch it implemented practically in our community to help you maximize gains, where you can have really tight risk and expansive rewards and an entire community of people all doing the exact same thing, looking and ensuring that you don't miss other crypto trading. And some of them go to quite a lot of the smalls, quite a lot of action on the meme tokens. I tend not to overly cover those, and smaller caps like cat in dog's world and all these guys, they're in there and they're setups. And if you want to get involved, you can do that trading too. We tend to keep the focus and the coverage of what we do in the top 25, and most of what we talk about is in the top 10 most of the time. So there's no opportunity, there's no incentive for me to cover these things. I'm not selling into you. We want to be integrity based, giving our best opinions on markets with no gain apart from the possibility of you joining our community. We do have links below. Use Simple FX if you've got crypto and you want to trade traditional markets, you want to trade crypto markets. I'll have that below. We do, of course, have a KuCoin link below. I think it's one of the exchanges we use and we're reasonably happy with. And we appreciate you if you support us for doing that. But at the end of the day, remember, you are the master of your own destiny. It must make sense to you. You must manage your own trade. You must have a stop loss if you're using leverage. And you should only be in areas, because stop losses kill and cost you money, actually, most of the time, when the price behavior best allows that you can have the expectation of a fast moving breakout that takes you away from your entry with a super tight stop. That is smart trading, and it is volatility based, hence the hunt volatility funnel. The squeezy Japanesey is the gift of the gab. It's the gift of the wealth building, and we trade it across all markets as well. Okay, look forward to catching up with you. I did say the Bitcoin dominance, and you're about to hit the like if you forgot, so let me do that for you. Just before I walk out the door, BTC dominance, we've said it made its target and that it may now ease, and that it's going to become a little bit more about the others in the house. How is that looking? Well, you can see, since we covered that for you on our last Crypto-esque, that you have correctly made the target of the 58.5. You actually went to 58.7, and subsequently actually you have indeed been giving. You rallied back up to the 58 key level of significance. It looks like you've got a continuation broadening pattern that is already triggered with a bit of downside. After that was at our second interim, you might remember that the second interim was running through there, and we still were waiting for the 58.5. So that was a great HVF. It started just there to the left. So I would say you are slowly seeing the first signs of a pullback. That doesn't mean it stays that way. Bitcoin can get a rally for a bit, but overall, I would imagine that you're going to see a bit more coming in on the alt side on balance of probabilities. And so far, it does appear like Bitcoin is shedding dominance and we need more strength. And the SEC case could be an alt igniter because Bitcoin doesn't benefit from this. Remember, its case is already clear. Isn't it nice being CIA coin? You were born that way. You were born that way. Remember Andreessen doing a seminar to the CIA on Bitcoin. Isn't that interesting? BTC.D. Let's put him back on and do him in the inversion and say, could this be that moment? Leave him. Could that be that moment where everything is about to turn? That's right. You've seen this one before and we remind you of it. Mr. Bernstein, much like Lowell's Finkelstein of BlackRock, CleanSpark CEO. Isn't it interesting? All the Steins are running all the crypto companies, but you're definitely escaping the banking community control structure and the nation of. Oh my goodness, you're definitely escaping all of them. Oh yeah, you're getting your freedom to 20%. Geez, I just had another attack of two reds there. 21.60, and this could be a bottom. This could be a bottom. Let's take the Fibbo off, and that is the beginning potentially of some basing. It's too early to say now. You want to see a bit of movement to the upside, and it could then make an RH3. You could have to wait an entire cycle for a down leg and then a breakout, by the way. An entire cycle could take that long. Or a sudden intervening crisis where banks have lost all your money. The Russians hacked. It was the Russians. I promise. No, Iran. We must, Iran. They did it. They hate our democracy. They hate it. They hated it. Yeah, they did it. Hezbollah. Yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so with that political take on Bitcoin dominance, you're seeing that the possibilities of an upside and down, who knows, but then that could become very good. Have we stopped going down? I need to we can't quite see the candles there. It's way too little, way too soon. But what I can tell you, as a man with eyes for volatility, look into my eyes, mince pies. Ooh. I see you there, sweetheart. What I actually would say to you is that you are indeed getting a reduction in the volatility to a super high extreme. So that was your down leg. Then it started to flatten out. That was your muffin top there. That was your broadening structure that then eventually ran itself ragged and knocked itself out. That was a continuation to down. This was all BTC dominance to the downside, continuation down, all Bitcoin dominance. Then we started to get a bit of an alt run, broadened up there, but then we got a flush out with, you know what, woohoo, the ETFs, everything. But that was a broaden, you went up, you squeezed. This was alt run, everything getting good. That was your Table Mountain top, a bit of complexity, but that's your, you know, Bart Simpson hair. And then since then, Bitcoin has been the king, and I think that changes, which means alt run could be coming into town. And we flexed, we ceased our, Bitcoin has battled to get more gains against alts. It has slowed down, but it has. It's been the best performer so far. So let's be absolutely clear. In that sense, the maxis have won June, July, since July of 23 to today. Of the upside that has been made, and then we'd have to check what we're on Bitcoin, is at 65K at the moment. The bulk of it has gone to Bitcoin at the expense of the alts. What comes next, playing not the puck, but where the puck is going, running to where the puck is going in advance, forward looking, instead of chasing after the last spot that it was at, going after, playing where the puck will be, says to me that this gets a turn. And the CEOs from all of these control structuring, we must own the money, we must depopulate. Special chosen people will certainly have their projects going real well, and later be scooping your biometrics so that you can have your social score readily available on your device just at time of purchase, so that they can tell you whether you're allowed another box of cigarettes, a steak, or anything else. Isn't that going to be fun? I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are too. Until next time, don't forget, click the link below, book a call. We can help you get wealthier. Wealthier is good. Wealthier is good. Preserve that wealth, put it in optionality. In other words, ways that you can protect it from the overreaching. It's going to be hard to synchronize everything in the world, even if you did own and control and run all the world with all your little friends. You would still have issues to close people down. We will fall into the cracks like cockroaches and survive all the nuclear. Yes, we will punish them by our survival, our rude good health, and our wealth that will be preserved. You can click at the link below to join our community to do exactly that. There'll be more crypto opportunities that will be discussed in there that will deal with all and sundry, including smaller caps, which you're currently missing right now, and quite a bit going on in the meme space. I just don't tend to cover that too much. I find it hard to take too seriously, but we also don't want to talk about things that don't have a minimum market cap on this channel. Till next time, catch you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Tired of profit wipeouts and blown accounts from following trade signal groups and other YouTube channels? Looking for a better way to trade, reduce your stress, and minimize your risk? Become a skilled technical analyst and see the charts and markets in a new light using the successfully proven HVF method by Francis Hunt, while being surrounded and supported by a principled, structured, and experienced community. Enjoy a constructive learning environment while practically trading markets, supported by a bespoke platform run through browser and app, specifically designed to teach and engage you whilst learning and growing as the markets move. This is not a Telegram or Slack signal group. All trade ideas are based on a proprietary technical analysis process honed over decades, which is the HVF method, leading to trade ideas with fast-moving breakouts and tight stops, exact entries and exits, nuanced interim considerations, and ultimately, strong rewards. Submissions are graded and scored by Francis for potential high-quality setups, and we provide bespoke tools to help get the job done properly and with precision. Over time and with focused effort, you'll begin to look at charts and price action just like Francis. Community updates every day by Francis and our 3 webinars a week provide a 360-degree approach, which are presented by our experienced team of trade leaders to spot potential trades. We're a community of self-actualized individuals, spanning the globe and active 24/7, 365. The premium community provides a warm, supportive, and cooperative place for people willing to listen, participate, contribute, and to learn. We've changed thousands of traders' lives. Transform your approach to trading now. Transform your life. Book an introductory call with us on the link below.